have in front of you your lesson plan for the short vowel O in HOP computer, however you want to look at it. It's a good idea to try to go along with us as we talk it through. So you know where in the lesson outline to find the stuff you have to prepare a couple of days before you're going to give the lesson. I can continue to repeat how important it is to be prepared a couple of days in advance, because we all know, any one of us who's been in the classroom, that suddenly the number of, sorry, 1 second. Sweetie, I'm on my video call. Yeah, I'm on the video call. Can I call you back? Okay, bye. My husband and I both had our COVID shots today, so he's checking up on how I'm feeling. Oh, so romantic. Anyway, it's really important to be sure you have the right number of copies of your work to show that you can find your letter card. Do yourself and the children a favor by checking twice that you've got it already, it's in the right folder, labeled, you know what it is, where it is, and you've got some books that support this lesson. The first one that I suggested is called Oliver. Yeah, we've got some noise coming in. Anyway, now Oliver is probably a book that my son might have bought abroad. I don't see a Scholastic sticker on it. If not Oliver, then any other storybook that starts with the sound of O, not that starts with one. So One Fish, Two Fish by Dr. Seuss, that won't work here because that letter O is not making the O sound of Oliver. If there's something with Ollie, maybe Ollie the octopus, that'd be a great story. But if you don't think your library in the school has a book, ask if it can be ordered. This is a commonly published book. Yeah, it can be ordered from Amazon, even if you can only get 1 or 2 copies, or anything of a similar type beginning with the O sound, because your first lesson is teaching the letter O as a beginning sound with O, not with O or W. Okay? And that's the problem with English, that the same letter does so many different things, and we have to help the kids focus on one thing at a time, mainly because they're not hearing enough English at home, and they don't have a lot of adults around who can help them make the difference or correct them if there's something that goes wrong, because the parents may not know themselves. Don't blame them. It's like me and my American son trying to teach Hindi to the grandchildren, and he's doing the best he can, but you know, it's not the same as the kind of Hindi that you, I mean, he went to modern school, but still, it's not the same Hindi that, you know, you guys are so much more adept at. So here's our lesson, day 1. The point of the lesson, and you know, Manisha raised this the other day, it's a very valid point. Why are we doing this? Awaken the sound of the short O vowel, the O in hot. That's why we're doing it. And to reinforce the sound of O with that letter O, because they'll see the letter O all over the place. But right now we're focusing on the letter O, whether it's the beginning or the middle, saying O. And of course, more vocabulary. Yeah, octopus is an interesting new animal to think about, just like alligator and iguana. So these are hooks that we use to get the children engaged. We're not spelling anything. Yeah, they are going to fill in the blanks and write the words, but we are not doing a spelling test. We're doing a sound test, as we did last time. when we say a word and they have to put the number of blocks or they have to tell how many sounds they hear, it's a sound test. We'll worry about spelling at a much different stage. So here we're talking only about the short O, like in fox, box, day one. The list is there of all the stuff you need. I've already suggested, if you can get this book, Oliver the Elephant. Yeah, the author is Sid Hoff, and he is listed in the recommended books that I have already sent to Barka. So, and I don't know, maybe Dalbir has turned up with some of them as well. Sid Hoff is a well-known children's writer. So, now that you've done the letter A, and I, we want to continue to remember those sounds as we go into another and another sound. So today you'll start with a picture of the alligator and of the iguana. Pictures do much more than words. So the minute you show that picture, oh yeah, that's alligator. Now they're saying it, whispering it, saying it to their friend, thinking it. The sound of is coming in their ears, and that's a iguana. They're digging it out of their brain, which is exactly what learning is. So let's say the name of each of these animals. So they'll say alligator and iguana. Lovely, huh? Now you'll show your picture of an octopus. Now, look, you might get a fabulously colorful one from the internet. Great. If you do, go ahead and use it, get it, enjoy it, share it, make a few copies. So today we have a new animal, a sea creature. Can anyone tell us the name of this animal? Does anyone know what it really is? Maybe some bright light will know it's an octopus. And if they don't, you say, well, he's an octopus. Let's say that sound again. Octopus. Yeah, octopus. Let's listen for the new sound at the beginning of octopus. What do you hear? Octopus, octopus. Maybe they'll say they hear the sound of aw. Maybe they won't. So you say it. And, you know, don't drag it out. If you don't get it within the first 5 or 7 seconds, okay, they don't know it. They can't bring it forth. So here are a few more words that begin like octopus. Off, on, office. Let's be sure what those words mean, okay? Well, look, this is off. And you go to the light switch and turn the lights off. Oh, yeah, that's off. What about click? That's on, off, on. Okay, that one's done. Simple word. So what's an office? So let's see what they say. They might say, where my mommy goes, where my papa goes, where principal ma'am sits. Oh, who knows what they'll say? Maybe they don't have a word for it, but they're beginning to think, oh, the office. So you say, yeah, it's a small room, or it could be a bigger room, where people sit and do their work, like on the computer or with some books and registers. It's a workplace. Omelet, they'll probably know, but you can say, oh, you know, it's something that we make with eggs, and sometimes we have it in a sandwich or blah, blah, blah. Olive, they may not know. You can just say it's a small fruit. You happen to have olives. And just say, it's a little green fruit or black. Any pictures of this stuff, dig them out. The biggest gift you can give yourself is to create a picture file. When I was in teacher training, that was in the second year of our training, that was the main task that we were assigned in our education classes. I mean, we took a lot of other classes, but you will make a teacher material center for yourself. You'll make a binder, a box, whatever you want to make, ripping every picture that you come across, because you never know when you're going to need it. And just file it in folders in alphabetical order. I'm looking for an olive. Oh, here's an olive picture. Whoever thought I needed it? Okay, just a check. Oh, this is the English letter O, and it makes the sound of ah in the beginning of words and sometimes in the middle. You're adding a little spice to the masala here. Let's see, it has the same shape. Isn't that interesting? Whether it's the big letter or the small letter. That's different. That's not like all the letters, is it? Yeah. Well, thank God some letters are easier. Oh, great. Now I'm visualizing. Around the room, because this is good for them to do a little physical activity, kinesthetic connection, and you're quietly saying octopus, octopus, oval, omelet. Just throw it out. Now today, group blah, 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 will practice writing the letter O on this handwriting paper. So now you've got all this stuff. They have plenty of space to draw something like the octopus that has the O sound. They can draw an omelet. They can draw Papa's office. There are 2 lines of dotted O's at the top. 1 line is enough for 1 day. These are small hands. These are not fully developed fingers. Let's just do a little bit at a time so that it remains engaging. If it's like, you're not going to get good letter O's. So go small. If somebody says, can I do more, ma'am? Well, you can if your hand is ready. Talk to your hand first. See if your hand wants to really do more. What did you just do? You've handed over decision-making responsibility to the child. Are you practiced in doing that? You haven't. And then sometimes for a child who's doing a pretty good job, you know, you've got some really nice O's there. Why don't you find the one you like best and circle it? Then I'll know which one you really like. Again, you're handing responsibility to the child to look at his work and think, ew, that's a bad one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Who needs to be doing this distinguishing, you or him? You know which are good and which are not so good, but he has to realize it. And you've just said, well, go ahead and see for yourself. 9 times out of 10, they will choose the best. They're not going to choose their wiggly old one. Start giving them space to be learners, okay? Not just big boxes that get filled up with stuff. So that's what the first group will do. The second group, let's see, maybe this is the reverse. The second group will paint the letter O right here on this end. You need your fat brushes to paint the capital O or uppercase, whatever you want, and the lowercase O. So guys, yeah, you're gonna have to get the paints out. You're gonna have the fat brushes, maybe just 2 trays on a table. So 4, 5, 6 kids can do it at the same time. You have already in lower KG and in upper KG taught them the rules of doing painting in the class. You spill, you clean. So you have a couple of rags or cloths or tissues around. You spill, you clean. We're not here for that, okay? And you want to try to remind them that they're going like this, just the way we did in the air. Actually means left to right, huh? Then you cut out your letter O's and you can stick them right here. Yes, you can color it in if you like. Sure, you can color your octopus. Great. That helps your hand to grow also, you know. Okay, so they're doing that. And the third group will stay here and listen for the beginning sound of O, as in octopus. Okay, I'll say some words, and when you hear a word that begins like octopus, make an O with your fingers. So that you don't have to distribute any material. They've already got their fingers, so they make a little O. Okay, let's start. Careful now, listen really carefully. It should sound like octopus. First word, office, iguana, omelet, alligator, on, any, off, ox, igloo, octopus. All right, that was good listening. Let's do it one more time. Just now, this time you mix it up so that they're not doing the same sequence, huh? And as each group finishes what it's doing, clean up, come together, review what you've done. Maybe one kid from each group can tell what the group did, or a couple of kids. Remember why? It's a forecasting for some, it's a validation for others. It's just a sharing time. It's some language is being used. And you're later in the day, try to read the book Oliver or a similar one. And whatever book you read, discuss the point of the story, not in excruciating detail. And then he did, and then he said, and then he, no. Okay, so who's Oliver? And what was he really wanting to do? And then, so who helped him? So at the end, you think he was happy or not happy? Yeah, good. This is enough for 4.5-year-olds to figure out in a story. But it's a very good training that when we are reading or hearing a story, we're paying attention and thinking, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Otherwise, why are we bothering to read anything if it's just a bunch of squigglies? So your farewell message for the day is, off you go. Get dramatic. Get out of your stiff little armor knight suit shells. Just get out there and be a great, big, fascinating human being for the children. And I hope people walking down the corridor will say, oh, look at her, look what she's doing. That is a good teacher. We had a teacher once in class 4 who would get up on her desk to demonstrate to the children a certain kind of dance or activity, and the principal said, wow, now that's a class I want to visit. She made it come alive for herself and her students. And that was class 4. Okay, day 2. A nice large picture of an octopus and some books like this, which I know are available here because I bought it. Too Many Dogs and Fox's Socks, which is an adorable little book, and the kids love to look at it themselves because it's the kind of book that has those flip things. So on this page, there's a chest and then you can open it. So this is available. I don't know how much it is, but I don't know. This one is, well, it used to be 146 rupees. So it's, let's say it's 200 now. So try to have books like that. Again, in this case, you want books that have the off sound in the middle of the words, like fox, because now we're going to the middle sound, which is the predominant one, which is the real one you need to focus on. But we started with the beginning sound because there are words that start with the letter O that have the off sound. And office and on and off are common ones. So for this, we also have a couple of activities and the puzzles and the little blocks to show the sounds. So I'm showing my picture of the octopus and I'm saying, okay, folks, so now remember what this is from yesterday? What is this? Octopus. Oh, very good. You remember our friend the octopus. But wait, open your ears. What sound do you have at the beginning of octopus? Yeah, I can hear you really good. It's coming from your tummy. Shake your belly while you're saying it. Yeah, great. So they're busy saying That's wonderful. So that's like on, off. You can do the light switch again, unless you're likely to blow a fuse. Ox, octopus. Good. So now today, we're going to remember that the letter O can also be in the middle of a word. Look what I brought from my house today. I brought what is it? Sock. Yeah. Okay. Every single house in the world has a sock with no partner. So, this even has holes in it. Isn't that even more interesting? Gather some of them. Because this visual adds to the sound of sock. Oh, ma'am has a sock. That's so funny. She's brought a sock. Yeah, okay. They're paying attention. They're learning at that instant. Sock. And they know the word sock. So now you're just helping them to hear it for the first time. They're really hearing it. Think of all the millions of words that go by you. So I'm going to read Fox's Socks because it's such a funny story about a fox who couldn't find his socks. This is your intro for this lesson. So you read this at the beginning of the lesson, and we'll talk about what happened to the fox. Now, I've read the story, the whole story to you. Listen for the words that have the sound of aw, like fox. And now you read only those words from the story. So you've read the whole story, they've enjoyed it, they've seen how it flips and so on. So now listen to the words that sound like aw, aw, aw. Lost, saw, nothing on that page. On, got, oh, nothing on that page. So every time you say one, don't read the story the second time. You're just looking at words. On, saw, and if you're not sure about a word, don't worry about it. I mean, here's the word gone. You can't read that one. So if you're any doubt as you do this, skip the word. It's better to leave one out than to say a wrong one. So they've listened just for the words in the story. Okay, now, okay, so I listed them. So actually the words are listed in your lesson plan if you want to check. Does anyone know any other word that has the sound like fox? Maybe somebody will say box. Maybe somebody will say hot, or maybe not. So you can throw a few in if you want to. If there's an incorrect word, say, I like that word, but I'm going to save it for another time, okay? Another one. That's how we say something didn't fit. I like that one, but I'm just going to put it over here for next week. You'll forget about it. So today we're going to do some activities to again practice the sound of aw in fox. Let's see. How about if we do this worksheet? Yeah. So they're going to cut out the letter O that makes the sound of aw in fox, and they're going to paste it in the space. And now the picture tells them that it is a fox, so they should be able to figure that out, read it sort of, and then write it on the space below. This is a lot of work. It's cutting. It's manipulation of the little piece of paper and the glue and the scissors. It's fitting it in this line. It's associating all this gobbledygook with, oh yeah, I know that's a fox. And then it's writing. This is a complex activity for your age group. So one group will do that. Another group will do the sequence puzzles. We talked about those before. They open the packet, they put the pictures together. So it'll be pot, or cot, whatever the pictures are. And you have, I hope you copy them. You have the masters. So all you have to do is photocopy this stuff large and then cut it in 3 bits and stick it on a cardboard. So you'll have lots of examples of lots of sets of cards that maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 6 children can use at the same time. Now in my packet, I have at least 3 sets. I'm only one person, so you need more sets because you've got all those gazillion children. Okay, so now last group will stay here and listen for the sound of aw in the middle of the word. Now, I'll say some words. If you hear the aw sound like fox in the middle, make a letter O. So you've done that. Okay, just yesterday you're repeating. Ready? Let's go. Sock, cot, cat, wig. Okay, the words are there. Good job. Now I'll give you some blocks. Put 1 block down for each sound that you hear. I don't have any blocks with me today. I'm going to use pens. Okay, so I've got 3 pens. So it'll be like this. Fa, fox. How many sounds did you hear? Good. How many blocks did you put down? Good. 3 sounds, 3 blocks. Okay, now let's get started. I'll say the word box. Listen again. Box. So they should put a box, and the word is box. And we're 7 or 8 words listed there. So now don't worry about words like sock and rock, which actually have a CK. There's 2 letters there, but how many sounds does that make? Just 1. So the kids will hear 1 sound. S, A. We're not asking them to spell it. Words like CK words are end of 1st grade or 2nd grade words, because whoever thought you had to put a C and a K to make 1 sound? So leave that out of their learning. Spelling is not the same thing in English as reading. In Hindi, it can be. So each group has finished its activities. You come back together and do the rehearsal revision of what all you did. And later in the day, you can read the book, Too Many Dogs. And this is available here. And it's good because it's a simple book, which the kids will enjoy looking at by themselves because it only says big dog. So children who are not yet reading are much more comfortable with a book with that many words on it. Bigger dog. Some bright lights will teach themselves to read. Biggest dog of all. If you happen to be thinking about some comparative adjectives, which you really shouldn't in upper KG, but it could happen. Here's a perfect book to encourage that. Okay, everybody, let's see. I just read those. On your drawing paper, draw a big dog. Great. Oh, I see some really nice big dogs. So 5 minutes later, okay, now draw a bigger dog. Okay, let me look around. And then, can you draw the biggest dog of all? This is a perfectly simple but age-appropriate lesson in case the question of comparative adjectives ever arises in your grade, which I hope it never does, but you never know what's going to happen in life, right? So that helps. And dog has the aw sound. Let's see. And then you can ask, do you hear any other words? And what sound do you hear in dog? And they should say aw. And you can give a couple of other ideas. If it's winter, then smog might be a good word in Delhi's climate. What was the problem in our story with the why were there so many dogs? Maybe they paid attention, maybe they haven't. It doesn't matter. They were hearing aw, 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 aw. And so off you go. Day 3. Bring back that octopus and your real sock. That's why you need to be quite organized and keep your stuff ready. The letter O card, always ready. Hop on, hop off, because that's reading that you'll be doing. And hot rods. So these 2 simple, colorful books are there. It's great if you begin to read these stories now as part of the aw sound, because if they come later, when kids start doing real reading, they're familiar with it. There's no such thing as being worried that, oh, I read this to them already 4 months ago. Or some kid says, oh, I know that book, man. Well, isn't that lucky? You can help us all the more. Never be intimidated by the smarty pants who, oh, I know that, or I've seen that, or la, 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 la. Bring him into the conversation by saying, oh, I'm so glad you'll be here to help us. That might be the last you hear of him, because he was afraid he's going to be put on the spot. And maybe he doesn't know much about it anyway. So always have your own confidence right here, right ready to jump out. When they ask a question and you don't know the answer, what a fantastic question. Okay, everybody, let's try to find out the right answer or a couple of answers and come back tomorrow and talk about it, because you have no idea in the world what this kid's talking about. So anyway, it's no harm in saying, I really don't know, let's find out. But it's also okay to say, everybody think about it and we'll share tomorrow. And you run to the internet and find out what the heck the kid's talking about. And you have the same worksheets as you've had for the last 2 days, so nothing more to prepare. But this time, be sure to have some journals or drawing materials available for the kids. So here you have our friendly neighborhood octopus. So I'm showing you our favorite friend, and come on, guys, who is this? Octopus. Good sound of ah. And what did I bring to show you? Yeah, my what? Sock. Good job. Okay. So we're learning about the beginning sound of ah, and we're learning that ah can be in the middle of a word too. This is the English letter O that makes the sound of ah, and sometimes it's a uppercase letter and sometimes it's a lowercase, and it looks the same. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it does. I'm going to read another story to you so you can hear the sound of oh. Ready? So you read Hop On, Hop Off. Have you seen that book? It's about getting on a bus and kids hop on and hop off and the guy loses his dog. Anyway, it's a cute little story. It's a phonics reader, one line to a page, but cute little pictures. So just read it. So what was the problem in the story? The kid left his dog on the bus. That's the problem. And how did they figure that out? How did they fix it? Oh, yeah. Pop gave the dog back to the boy. I think his name is Bob. So some other words that you heard in our story that have the sound of aw, like hop. So there's a kid named Bob, a man named Pop. They hop on, they hop off. There's a dog, there's a box, I think lunch box, whatever there is. So maybe they'll remember some of the words. If then don't, you can just say, okay, here's this. Oh yeah, remember Bob, it's Pop. Today we'll practice the sound of aw in the middle of the words. Now, group so-and-so will do the puzzles, and group so-and-so will do the worksheet, and group so-and-so will stay here. And the worksheets are listed with day 1 and 4, day 2, 3, 4. The handwriting at the top says day 1 and as needed. So you and I cannot predict sitting here how many things the kids can finish in your allotted time. So some kids will need an extra thing to do, and some will barely finish it at all. So that's how life is with 4-year-olds. And some will do every single thing, maybe twice, and some won't complete the set at all. It's okay. So when you are here with me in the group, listen for the sound of aw in the middle. And if you hear it, show me O with your fingers. So you do that same thing. Sock, dot, cat, wig, box, and so on. And then they do the same thing with the letters, the blocks to show the sounds. So I'll say hot. Think of the sound you hear. Hot. How many blocks did you put? 3. So how many sounds did you hear? Tell me the sound you heard. Good. Now, if a kid only has 2 blocks up there, say, okay, I'm going to listen to the word one more time. I'm saying hot. What's the beginning sound? Okay, where's your block? Okay. Now, what's the middle sound? Okay, aw. Then what's the ending sound? Hot. Oh, you need a block for that. Okay, good, got it. Even if you take, what was that, 7 seconds to get Amit to correct the mistake he made, other kids are still there listening and looking at, he only put 2 blocks, but I put 3. Oh yeah, now he's got 3. Yeah, now I heard hot. So even when you're revising with one child, it is not wasted time for the others, especially if you look around and say, watch, you guys are in this too. That's why you have to have these massive antennae. You're working with this kid, but you're keeping an eye on this. And oh, by the way, what about all the other 25 who are over there? Okay, nobody said it was easy. And so when they're all done, you call back together and you revise. And maybe you want to say to Amit, so Amit, you know what? You had that wonderful thing with the blocks. Why don't you tell us your special word? Hot. Yes, his special word today was hot. Okay, everybody, how many sounds do we hear in hot? Show me your fingers. Yeah, we do. Now, how does it work? What is this? Is ha, ah, Great. Quick revision. Some kid who was kind of wandering a few minutes ago, maybe, oh yeah, okay, got it now. You will never know that's going on secretly in here, and he doesn't want to admit it. Be sure though, it's happening. Later in the day, you can read the book Hot Rods, which is with the story. And again, they can draw their own idea if you want to. This Hot Rods is about racing cars, so maybe they'll be interested. They may want to draw something about it and maybe write a word if they can, hot or rod or Tom or whatever. And what's our farewell today? Now, this is not in your lesson plan because I just made it up yesterday. The farewell today is hop, hop, hop. And I want to see you doing it. Yeah, and I want to see them hopping all the way down the corridor, making the rest of the school go crazy. That what does this UKG people think they're doing? We are teaching, okay? And we're UKG and we do it this way. That's the courage I want you guys to have going into this new methodology. This is about active learning. And it means you have to hop. Yeah. Okay, day 4. Same basic materials. I know that the book Magic Porridge Pot is available with you. If you happen to have the big book of it, oh, the best. If you have a medium size, that's great. And if you only have that little ladybird version, okay, it's something. But it's great because it's got the aw sound of pot, and pot is a common word. It's a kind of crazy story. You know, it's that old tale about the porridge that keeps cooking itself. But it's all right. Once in a while to have some imaginary nonsense. And again, some paper and colored pencils. Okay, folks, today, this is how you start your lesson. I have some riddles for you. But each answer has the sound of aw, like fox. Okay? So I'll come around to your table and I'll tell your table a riddle. And then you talk amongst yourselves and see if you can raise your hand and guess your answer. And everybody else, you better listen because you might get the same riddle in a minute. Message to the class, pay attention over here. This is more effective than saying, okay, guys, everyone listen over here. Okay, listen, you guys have to listen because you might get the same riddle. Challenge. So, okay, table 1. You wear this on your foot and it has the aw sound. Okay, talk for a minute. I know you've got some good ideas over here too. Yes, sock. Okay, do you all agree? Yeah, thumbs up for this table. Good one. Okay, next table. You cook in this, blah, 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 blah. So keep the rest of the class engaged in listening, trying to guess, maybe being ready for their riddle. Thumbs up if they agree that that was a good answer. Everybody's engaged in learning. So the riddles are there, you can read them. Does anyone else have a riddle for us? Come on, someone might. Hey, you never know. Some bright light might come up with something. I carry my lunch in this. Okay, box, lunch box. So today we're going to finish our practice work so that we can write our own books tomorrow. So you'll do the worksheet and you'll do the puzzles and you'll paint the capital letter. And if there are any kids who haven't been able to do the auditory sound work with you, get them to do it. Or some kids who were a little wobbly, get them back. So it says additional practice, huh? Okay, doctors, we're going to play a special game today. Operations. Write the word hot. Let's read it. Hot. Good. Once it is written as a complete 3-letter word, it is no longer ha-ta, it's hot. And get used to that and force them to look at it as hot. It's one unit. But now we're going to cut off the h sound. What's left? Yeah, can you say that sound? Yes, ought. No, it's not really a word, but anyway, ought, that's a sound. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to put a p in front of it. Now let's see if we can read that word, huh? Who's got it? Who's got it? Yes? Pot. Good job. Okay, now here's another job we're going to do. Let's do an operation on the p and an operation on the t. So what do we have left? Yeah, we have aw. I'm going to put a t here. What can we put at the end? What would you like to put? Okay, let's put a P. Let's see what we have. Oh, look at the word. It's top. These are not unfamiliar words because they've been looking at pictures of tops and mops and fox since lower KG, because we've had the pictures, but they were only pictures and naming the picture. It's the same vocabulary. There we were learning the vocabulary. Now we're learning to sound it out and therefore read it. Oh, wait, now I've got the sounds in my head. I can start writing it. So we do the riddles. Or any other revision activity that you know the 4 or 5 or 6 kids are a little wobbly on. Have your meeting to discuss what we've been doing, what we've learned, and then read Magic Porridge Pot. Yeah, I mean, if you want to discuss the details of the story, you can. It's a little esoteric. I mean, it's hard for young kids to imagine, unless they've done a lot of fantasy reading and fairy tales. You've got a pot, and it'll keep on cooking until you say, stop pot. Pretty weird. And then there's so much porridge gets, first of all, be sure they know what porridge is, cereal, whatever they call it. It's all over the town, and it's a big mess. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's good because people can eat it, but it might be kind of yucky and dirty, huh? So it's a weird story, but it's got the awe sound in it. So draw the part of the story you like best. That's okay. That's a moment of reflection on the story. So they'll draw a pot with all this gooey stuff hanging out of it. Great. They can even write the word pot. Well, now we're at the best day of the week. Today is a special day because we can make our own books. So we'll use all these pictures, which now you have gazillions of, and they're, I mean, I keep it in a bag, but you keep it in whatever you want. But when you display it on the tables, of course, it has to be in a little box or a basket or something. And you have the master sheet for this here, I hope, and make many copies because the kids are going to use up most of those pictures. Once they get enthusiastic about it, and this is the 3rd time they're doing it, you'll probably begin to get books that have 3 and 4 or 5 pages and lots of pictures. So boys and girls, I'll just show you my book. This is my book, and I'll put my name here. And here's what I did. I took a picture of a top and I stuck it here, and then I'm going to write the word top. And here I put a box, and I'm going to write the word box. Hey, we haven't done much with the letter X yet, but so what? I mean, if you have the alphabet chart in there, you can just write it on the board. It's not a big deal. Oh, look what I did for fun. Look what I did. I put a fox on a pot. Isn't that crazy? Now, they can do this kind of picture. They may not write it as a phrase. They might just write fox pot. Okay. But the kids who are more linguistically able might start writing fox on pot, a fox on a pot, a fox on the pot. I see. Who knows what they'll go to? That's the excitement. We don't know, but you'll find out. And again, you're giving them small books. If you're 4 and a half, this is a little intimidating. Oh, it's so big. I can't do all that. This is perfect because 1 picture and 1 word, or 2 pictures and 2 words can fit. And they want to add more papers, go ahead and add as many pages as you want to, as long as you still have enough pictures. So the beauty of this is they're working on their own. They're choosing things that they're interested in. Maybe some people will only want lots of pictures of tops and boxes. Some will only want lots of boxes. And I mean, we don't know what appeals to them. So we can't prescribe. You have to have 1 of each picture. What? Who cares? It's not about pictures, it's about sounds. So you can walk through the sound of the pictures in your book if you want to. You can help them with slightly more sophisticated sentences if there are kids who are ready for it. You'll have them at the group, in the front on the mat, watching your demo and telling them when you go to your table, you'll have a basket and little booklets. And they'll choose and paste and so on. While they are busy doing their writing, making their own books, you're doing the assessment. One kid at a time. It takes about 2 minutes. If you don't assess, you will not know for sure who's got the aw sound and who doesn't. And it's not fair to the child, and it's not fair to you to leave this lesson with a little question mark. Well, I've got 27 kids in the class. Probably most of them have it. That's not good enough. In fact, maybe a month or two ago, a Mamta man was talking with me about, what kind of assessments we can do. And unfortunately, the assessments, like the big sophisticated ones, are so complicated and require so much individual time with an adult and a child in a quiet environment, none of which you have. You don't have the time. We don't have those instruments, those assessment documents. They're not appropriate to our students, our vocabulary, and our school. And we would have to remake all of those to suit our population. Well, we have it because I've taken those concepts and put them in your assessment in the very first lesson. What do they have to do? They have to identify sounds, they have to identify letters, they have to use a sound, they have to point to something, they have to listen to what you have said and somehow repeat it, replicate it. That's all there is in the assessment. But if you don't know for sure that out of, let's say, 5 points, every kid is at least 4, if you don't know that, then we don't know if you've taught the lesson the way you want to teach it. And if you end up with like 2 or 3 or 4 kids kind of not doing it very well, you'll have to find the time to review that next week. We're responsible for our children learning. We're not responsible for the teaching. We can teach, but if they don't learn, the surgeon can operate, but if you die, was it a successful surgery? So, okay, that's my story for today. What are your thoughts? I'm trying to be funny and entertain you and teach you at the same time. Can you just respond a little bit there?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we couldn't hear you. I mean, I couldn't hear you. I could only see your gestures.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
No, the last thing.
We were at the time on.
What?
I didn't get your voice at all.
So why didn't you stop and tell me that?
No, that's what I'm doing. I mean, it's just now in the last phrase only that I didn't get your voice at all.
Oh,
Also.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, everybody go back to what you missed and tell me the last thing you heard or you saw.
Regarding the booklets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Luckily, we've talked about it before. So basically, you know. Can you hear me? Okay. Day 5 is the day to put all of this together and let the children show themselves that they have learned words. This is crucial because if they don't see the point of all this ha, ta, pa, ka, why would they bother doing it? But you have said today you will make your own book. You will make a book. What? Yeah, This is your book. You can take it home and read it to your family. And how will you make your book? I prepared this for you, and this is on your table. And there are so many pictures that have the oh sound like pox. And you can choose a picture just like I did. See, here's my book. See, this is what I did. Yeah, and I made this silly one too at the back. Boys and girls, you can make any pictures you like in your book. You can even draw some. If you want to draw a fox with a sock, go ahead. And then you can write the words because now you know them. If my book has a picture of a top, can you help me with that? How will I do that? Let's see. What's the first sound of top? Oh, T. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know the letter T says T. Okay. T. Oh, what do I need for? Oh, yeah, that's what we did this week. Oh, top. Now, how do I end it? Top. What do I need? That's it. I need P. So here's my word top that goes with my picture. So that's what you can do with your books. And then let them go because they've got their books at their tables. They've got a basket full of pictures that they know. They have been looking at these pictures from lower KG because we wanted them to get the sound of P in pot. And then you wanted them to get the sound of T in pot. So this is a very known quantity, as is hop and dot. So they'll pick out pictures. You know, they can put a dot on a fox. Any combination is good. The more imaginative, the better. And their next job is to figure out how to write the word. And of course, as I said, many more, some of the advanced children will want to make phrases, a dot on a fox or whatever they want to do. While they are busy making their books, and these boys and girls are books you can read. Guys, this is crucial. This is where your children realize, oh, I can do it too. Ma'am read fox on socks to us, or fox socks, whatever. I can put something about fox and socks in my book. I can write a book. This is where your students have crossed the bridge from all this letters and sounds business to words they can use. And then they take a book home. Mama, I made a book today. Yeah. Mama, look, I made a book. Huh? You made a book? Tell me about your book. Now the parents get convinced that some of this nonsense we've been doing for a year and a half, oh yeah, I guess they can begin to read and write. So I think day 5 is the best because it is the pulling together of everything. And once they can do this, then you start reading little phonics books. And it's, oh yeah, this is also a book. I can read a book. Okay, now, everybody heard? Everybody okay on that? What else?
Books. On last day, they will create their own picture books. For creating that picture books, we can give them picture of different sound also to assist them, or we should only give O sound pictures only. We will not assist them on last day.
No.
Yes.
Let's only do this week's sound, which was the sound of aw. Last week they made a book with I. The week before they made with a, cat. Next week they'll do you, and the final week they'll do e. So we want to be sure at any given time they've got that sound and the guide words, which will be their clue. If they see the letter O in the middle of a short word, they should know what to do. If they've never seen the word, let's see, what could it be? Rod, like fishing rod, fishing pole, but they know, okay, rod. Rod. I don't know what a rod is, but rod. Maybe they know rod in some other kind of like curtain rod, maybe. But they'll be able to sound it out and say, okay, what is rod? They can read it. So let's just do one at a time. If there's time, or if there's a need, or if there's a whatever, you can do a mixed assessment, and we can create that if you would somehow feel comfortable doing it. But when you finish these short vowels, your next job is going to be the phonics readers. And you'll find out in a minute if there's something they don't really know. And you've seen these phonics readers, right? Sam and Al and Max, whatever. They do the same thing. They start with the A sound, and they do each sound in a couple of books, and the kids read them over and over, and they do exercises on them. So by the end of upper KG, I think they know their short vowels. I think so. Next.
Ma'am, over here, are we only focusing upon the words, like when they're making their picture books? So we're just focusing that they select the picture and they write its word, right? We are not focusing upon any sentence.
No, because that's too complex a concept.
Yeah. And then what about journals? Since we are expecting them to write their journals, what are the expectations? How do we differentiate the expectation level?
Okay, well, look, this is a focus on the sound we have been doing this week with this vocabulary. The journal is free expression. So they draw whatever they want.
They draw, but you know, like you instructed that, you know, they can even write down some of their feelings or whatever has happened. But how do we expect to write if suppose we haven't done that with them, or they're not aware of how to write sentence? So can the journal be only pictorial? Can it be like?
And it can be, it can be just words. So he's drawn a picture, and you walk around, tell me about your picture. I have a new cycle. You do? What color is it? Red. And he's coloring it red. Okay. Why don't you write something about it? So he thinks, right? I don't know how to write. Well, go ahead. You can, whatever sounds you hear, you can go ahead and write those sounds. Okay. He might put RD, and he might put CIC or CIL. God knows. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, right. If in the journal, if any of my child is drawing some of, you know, his or her incidents, and they generally don't write anything about it, but yes, it is in the form of a picture. So that's fine, right? That's acceptable.
Fine. It's fine. But as upper KG goes along, because you've been doing shared writing, right? So they've been seeing writing. They have seen some words. You have a small word wall. Maybe you have the colored words listed with the patch of the color. So they've been seeing a whole lot of print in your classroom. Right. So if he says, my cycle red, is it red? I bet you can see that over there someplace. And just casually point to the poster.
That was my main point for asking, ma'am, because we have been doing shared writing, and you know, like they have seen that how ma'am is, you know, building up the sentences and how they are also sharing sentences. They've seen all that. Then we have been creating a wall of the word wall with the sight words and everything. So they are aware of the little sight words that we have. So do we expect them to build them into sentences together or not?
No. Let's not expect it. Okay. Let's be happy if it happens. Yeah. Let's encourage it. And you know whom to encourage.
Yes.
The child who just barely has the sentence, I go my home.
Yeah, he's like not ready to write. They do give the broken sentences, you know, like my cycle, ma'am, or my red cycle, just like you said. So they will give broken sentences. So we can just encourage them, right?
Yeah. If you can say, that's such a helpful picture to show me about your cycle. Why don't you write something? You can write about it if you like. Huh? The minute you say you can write, you've given him the idea that maybe I can.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not only those tall people who do it.
Yeah.
Okay? But please don't try to correct it. As it says in the curriculum map, in upper KG, the journal is the first expression time. They let them have and bring out ideas. When they get to class 1, it'll be more structured. These guys are too small and haven't had enough life experience to, one, formulate a full sentence or full thought. Red cycle is a lot, or big dog, or yummy samosa. I don't know what that would look like if they wrote it, but it's okay. So please step back. Less is more. Do not worry that some coordinator is going to come and say, well, what's going on in this journal? They didn't write anything. Yeah, that's right, ma'am, because our curriculum map reminds us that this is free expression. So those who can begin to put letters, they're putting them, but the others are just getting started. Stand your ground.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's your curriculum map and you're in charge, okay? But do that, refer to the curriculum map and the lesson plans, because whoever is like, oh, she's right, better shut up, okay?
Are
Did you
we
get
going
any?
to assess?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Are we going to assess them on daily basis, or we will be having anytime some particular kind of skill drill like we have right now?
Stop with this expression, skill drill. It makes me think like I'm in the army.
Right.
I mean, get real. How old are these children? You're going to have a skill drill. You see, that's when we didn't. That was when we didn't have anything else. Where did that thing go? There, wait a minute. Let me show you something. I'm sure I've showed you before. Yeah. Remember this? Did I show you the class? I swear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is more than enough. At the end of the week, you will do this assessment when you get some specific data that, okay, he knows the vocabulary, but he's not so good in identifying, well, whatever you figure out. This daily thing, if you can even do 7 or 8 kids at a time every day, and you're just walking around making the note, good formation of the letter, associates the sound to the picture, can write the whole word, whatever you see, note it down. That is authentic assessment. When you take a course at a college in assessment, the key word is authentic. All these other end of term things are artificial because they're not connected to the time and place the children were doing the learning. One thing they found in very sophisticated studies, let's say at the university level, if you take your chemistry final exam in the library, you will score lower than if you took the chemistry final exam in the chemistry room.
Chemistry.
Because the ambience puts it all together. That, oh yeah, that's what, oh yeah. So the same with this assessment. You're doing it in the context of, let's say, the sound of awe.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fox, yeah. Okay, so I don't even know what a skill drill looks like, but sounds pretty scary.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, another thing, are we going to have any reading material that the children will be taking home? Like, this time we are having the Fitzroy readers. They read the books, these phonic books. So are we going to have anything like that, which is for home?
No. The phonics books that you'll be using, these guys, will not go home for many reasons. First and foremost, they're paperback, they're very delicate, it's been expensive to create them, and we can't really afford to lose them or have them get covered in water bottle. But the biggest reason is we do not want tutors engaging themselves in this and having the children memorize the sentences. And that's what tutors do. So these will not go home. What is supposed to be going home is some selection from your classroom library where you'll allow, encourage, facilitate the children to at least, what can I say, twice a week, take a book home, let's say for 2 days. It is a simple, it's like a Ladybird reader. It's a simple book, you know, Billy Goat's Gruff or Goldilocks or some really simple, almost just a picture and a word at your level. They take the book home, they enjoy it, they show to their families. My school has books and that they let me have this one for today. That's how important I am, and that's how important the book is. Okay, these are all secret messages that Cape Town Public School is now giving to your community. So yes, I don't know what books these are. It's not up to me to decide. I think it's only when we actually unpack everything and have it in your classrooms, whether they'll be designated as classroom library go home books or just random. But that's a piece of bookkeeping that you and your partner teacher will have to get into. The kid has to write down the book.
Yeah, it's like a request because, you know, the parents are really happy when the children are, you know, reading the book that they take from school. So it would be
No,
really
they're
good
not
if
going to do
we
that.
have some kind of plan like that. And even the parents
Well,
feel that, yes, the child has been doing something in class and, you know, they're capable of reading because now the scenario is changing. Even the parents don't mind the writing that much. They're more focused on the reading skills. So
thank
even
God.
parents are finally
But
getting into that zone.
remember that at the end of the week, let's say, of doing the story Max, all of these activity sheets will go home, which are exactly taken from the story, and now the children can read it. Max is a rat or a cat or whatever the heck he is. Now, make a book, draw pictures of Max and the rat. Use these words. The child will have again made his own book on the story. Puppets. Read these words. Again, here's another example of revising all the short vowel sounds. Here we got some more. Cut out the word and stick it in and read the sentence. So the kids will have plenty of time to show their parents what they can read. But I have discussed this with everybody, Mamta and Tapasi and Barka. These books we cannot afford to send home for just the physicality of it, but more because if they go home, then the child will be doing this. Max is mad at the cat, rather than Max is mad at the rat. One is reading, one has been memorized. And how will you know if he can read if he's ratified the whole book? So I think there have to be at a point other books that they can take home.
Yeah, that's what even I'm like concerned about, that we should maybe get a list of some books that we can, you know, not just even send, but at least something which we can give the parents as a suggestion. Like, you know, they can buy from the market, because they do ask this year also. The parents have been asking that, ma'am, can you suggest some of the authors or some of the books that we can buy from outside? So definitely we can have some of those.
Great. That's great. And there is a list which I sent a couple of months ago to Barka. We just re-exchanged it. We both have the same list. That list is with Barka. You can ask her for it. It has books for lower KG and nursery. It has for upper KG and so on. But for sure, because they're available here, you can ask parents to get some of these easy Ladybird books. I mean, people are familiar with Ladybird because it's a British thing. But level 1, I mean, you've seen these books. You have some in the school library, I know. So it's, I'm hungry, said the first Billy Goat Gruff. I'm going over the bridge. If a grown-up will read this book once to the child, he'll get the idea, and the pictures will help him to say, Oh, how hungry. Okay, he's gonna go, oh, there's the bridge. So he'll tell the story himself, and then pretty soon, oh, trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. They'll all read that page by themselves. So this is the kind of stuff you can tell the parents to get. They have to be willing to read it first. They cannot say, okay, read your book. Kids cannot do that. So, yeah, so these are useful, and I don't know, you don't get a lot of easy reading books in the bookstores here. That's a sad thing. And I don't know, the whole country thinks that we only produce geniuses, we don't produce real kids. But look at what has come. If you haven't already looked at what's come from Dalbir, look and see if there's anything for your age group.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
But look on the list that I've sent to Baraka. That might give you some ideas, and the parents too. Okay, other thoughts? Good ones today, very good ones. Meenakshi, you want to say something? Anybody else? Okay, scale of 1 to 10, show me fingers. How ready are you? Not right away, because this stuff only comes later in the term. How ready are you, 1, 2, 5, to do this kind of lesson? Oh, look at Manisha. Oh, everybody's up there. Great. Okay, good, good. It's not for now. When you start school, you're revising beginning sounds. Easy. July, for about 2.5 months, you're teaching ending sounds. Fine. Then for whatever, 5, 6 weeks, you're doing this. Great. November, you start doing this. So plenty of time to get ready. Okay. And anything else?
I think that's it, ma'am. Nobody else has anything to share.
Okay, good. All right. So next week we're doing the letter U says bleh. And then we finish up with F. Will that complete what you guys need? Because we've already done this, haven't we? Did we go through these lessons? Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember. I've done so many different things. Okay, so then oh, wait, Baraka said you may want to revise the beginning sound stuff. Do you want to do that?
Ma'am, I think beginning sounds we all are clear with, since we have gone through the lesson plans also that were shared with LKG. I think this is what we'll focus upon, the middle sound that we've been doing for all the letters. I think this is what
this is
focus upon.
This is really important, and it's a little harder. I mean, beginning sounds we can hear, ending sounds we can hear, but this
right. And like the
Yeah.
way in which we are delivering these lessons, we are going to deliver these lessons, that's kind of a bit different from what we used to do earlier. So that's why I think this will be better if we take more guidance on this.
Yeah, this is different. But preferably, not that I'm in charge of the world, but almost, preferably use the same method and material for the beginning sounds, because you will set the children in a pattern which you can easily follow in the ending sounds. Okay. Yes, so it's a matter of, getting a system going so they can predict what's going to happen just like you can. Makes it easier, right? Good. Okay. So everybody all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay, good. Carry on. Okay. See you next week then.
Thank you so much,
ma'am, and thank you so much for your guidance and support.
Oh, thank you for listening and mostly smiling. Makes me feel good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, ma'am. Thank you.